There's pan-India outrage of the long rope given to Lingayat Seer Shivmurti Muruga by the state government. It is over 145 hours since the FIR was registered, but such is the clout of the accused Seer that he's not even questioned once. Now, from Chitradurga to Mysuru, protests over the state inaction has intensified. Protesters have geared out the district collector's office in Chitradurga. The state hasn't yet arrested the accused, but has issued a lookout circular against the Seer. And that's as far as the protests are concerned. Meanwhile, in the courts, lawyers have filed a plea in the Karnataka High Court seeking a court-monitored probe in the case and urgent arrest of the accused Seer. They allege that the Seer's statements can mislead the probe.
Petition was already filed seeking anticipatory bail. Today the case was posted for appearance of the public prosecutor and the victims. Accordingly, the prosecutor has appeared and advocates for the victims also have appeared. The case is posted for objections to tomorrow as the prosecutor sought for time.
Just bail application called out, victim present, we are also present, posted for objections because allow to me say fully. Public prosecutors took the time to file objections. Public prosecutors took the time to file objections because it's a celebrity, both the parties had given opportunity full. That is why public has took the time.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us live with us is Navin Chomal, lawyer. Also with us is activist Brinda Dige. I'm going to come to you first, Navin Chomal. Now, the anger is very clearly building up. Protests are taking place. And we have, before I come across to both of your guests, let me quickly get in a word from Deepak on this. Deepak, what's the latest as far as these protests are concerned? Petitions have been filed in the High Court. The Chitradurga court, after 5 days, continues to deny anticipatory bail. They've deferred the hearing once again to tomorrow. But the big question is, why has the Seer not been interrogated? All right, we've lost that line with Deepak. Question to Navin Chomal. Navin Chomal, even lawyers are petitioning the High Court, demanding that the Seer be arrested. Leave alone arrested. In a POCSO case like this, isn't it shocking that the accused has not even once been interrogated?
Sir, the issue is very straight and simple. India is governed by the law, and it is not possible that if a person is found to be prima facie involved in a crime, he will get away from the law. Nobody can get away, and be sure in a democratic setup, this is not going to happen. There is not going to be any hanky-panky. But at the same time, there is also a jurisprudence, criminal faculty, where it is always a guidance from the Supreme Court that in the case of arrest, when the consequences are going to be very high on any side, that should be first caution. Let the prima facie case be established. Let the investigating agency be satisfied about the allegation, and once that is there, they will definitely go ahead and arrest the person, no matter at what position he is. So now let me assist you and our esteemed viewers with certain jurisprudence.
No, Mr. Chomal, I'm very glad you brought up the jurisprudence. The jurisprudence does not apply to other cases where, you know, there are lesser charges on individuals that are picked up very often. But in this particular case, despite a heinous offense such as POCSO violation, you want the police to give a long rope to this individual. Let me bring in Brinda Dige.
We don't want only to this person.
And it is all the more shocking, Mr. Chomal, for the simple reason that no politician is willing to condemn this individual.
No,
you have people from the community coming out, you have different Dalit organizations, others coming out and protesting, but from the BJP to the Congress to the JDS, all politicians have their mouth shut simply because he controls a very important and influential vote bank in Karnataka. That is the particular mutt that belongs to the Lingayat faith.
Madhav, well taken. I agree with you that politicians may have the reasons. But as a lawyer, I would like to make a proper picture before this honorable channel and our esteemed viewers. I don't want to make any misleading statements. We are a very strong democracy. There is a very powerful judiciary. So all the concerns of the citizens will be met properly and in a very fair manner.
Sir, may I ask you, Mr. Chomal, in your view of jurisprudence, before I go across to Brinda Dige, and Brinda Dige, I'm going to come to you right after this. Mr. Chomal, do you know of a single POCSO case where after 5 days, after knowing where the accused is, the police have still not even interrogated the person? Do you know of a single case like this?
No, there are occurring certain cases where, see, ultimately in this case of very landmark judgment of Siddharam Mehta versus State of Maharashtra, which has laid down the law for anticipatory bail, the Honorable Supreme Court also said let us not go by the label of the allegation. Let us see what is the attachment or the connection of the accused person with it, and how strong the allegations are connecting that particular person. So once the agencies are satisfied that yes, the allegations are prima facie found well founded, he will definitely be arrested.
Brinda Dige, only when the police are convinced that there is a satisfactory case to be built against the accused will they even go and interrogate him. That appears to be the argument of Mr. Navin Chomal. Do you agree with
No,
it?
that is incorrect, because POCSO is a special act, and I'm sure the panelist knows about it. And in this special act, this person, the alleged accused, is considered accused, guilty, till he proves his innocence, not the other way around like in other IPC cases. And that is why all this hue and cry that we are having. Because once you take him in, only then will the police be able to conduct a fair investigation. How can the police conduct investigation when they are under so much of pressure? Pressure from politicians, pressure from devotees, pressure from other swamis, from other mutts, pressure from the administration, and the ruling dispensation as well as the opposition party leaders. None of them have come in support of the victim survivors. They have, platitudes aside, they have continued to talk about everything that the law will do and will not do. But not one of them said, the law of my state will ensure that the children are protected, a fair investigation will happen, and justice will prevail. That is the confidence you will extend to the citizens and to the children. That has not come forth. What has happened is everybody saying, oh, there will be a law and order situation. Then what is the police doing if they can't handle a law and order situation? Are the police not trained enough? Do they not have enough resources to handle whatever the law and order? All that apart, including jurisprudence that you are talking about. Given this sensitive situation, one moment, given this sensitive situation, do you not think that this Swami has a moral responsibility to ethically come forward and say, I am open for any kind of investigation, here is my statement, and do what you will? That's the least he can do.
All right, Mr. Chomal, there are multiple points over there. Question number one is this. Question number one is that the people's faith in the system is now being shaken, because here you have the mighty and the powerful whom the police is clearly scared to act against. Not only is the police scared to act, why should this person who is donning these robes, who is supposed to, represent sacrifice and truth, why doesn't he step down pending the investigation? There are Lingayat groups that have demanded so on record that if he is true to his faith, he should step down and avoid all the confusion that is happening in the state. If he is pronounced innocent, he can come back to the position. Can he not?
See, there can be differences of opinion between the Lingayat groups, but arrest of a person is having far serious consequences. So,
sir, forget arrest. We are saying interrogate him. Yes, sir, interrogation to kar sakte hain.
Yes, definitely interrogation will happen.
So why is it not happened? Don't you find it shocking that after 5 days there is no interrogation?
Sir, kindly appreciate. Let us hold our horses. Kindly appreciate the moment.
Horses for whom? Hold it for whom? People want to see justice, sir. The least the police can do is at least go and speak to the individual.
No, definitely they must be having certain reasons for not going. They must be preparing the entire material and then questioning him. And the moment they find that yes, he's got no explanation for certain questions, they will definitely arrest him. So I can assure as a lawyer with 27 years of practice that if this person is having any serious involvement in the crime, he will not be spared. But what had happened, for example, in the case of Jayendra Saraswati's case, he was arrested very hastily and there had a lot of repercussions and ultimately he was found to be innocent.
So what happened in the case? Let me also remind you, since you've taken the name of Jayendra Saraswati, what has happened in the case of Asaram? What has happened in the case of Ram Rahim? What has happened in the case of Rampal of Haryana? All of these persons were accused of heinous crimes. The police was seen dragging its feet. Finally, they were all convicted by courts of this country. It was a similar kind of argument that's coming in, that we cannot believe that he could be accused of such crime. Devotees falling in line over there. Police not taking action for several days. Finally, after public outcry, it took a public outcry for the police to finally go ahead and take action. And in the case of Ram Rahim, even after he was convicted, his supporters vandalized the area surrounding the court in Panchkula, sir. We all remember that. So these people have immense following, and they have immense power and clout that they wield. And thereby it appears to every common citizen that the powerful are being shielded in Karnataka.
No, that is not the case. Please appreciate, there is a very honest government in Karnataka, and now hanky-panky will occur. In fact, if he is involved in any crime, even the people from Lingayat community will not support him. See, the
Brinda
case
Dige.
of Ram was altogether different. But here the case is something where this thing, Baba, Asar Bapu too was convicted. So nobody will be spared if he is involved in any crime.
Okay.
The only thing is, what is happening is...
Well, he's just turned my argument on its head. Brinda Dige, he's using those same arguments to say that nobody will be spared. But your response to him when he, refers to how the government is very fair in Karnataka and how they are taking action against this individual. Please respond to him.
That was our presumption before this case, that the government is fair. All your platitudes are lip service. Sir, I did not disturb you. I think you should allow me my...
Mr. Chomal, you have spoken, sir. Now allow the lady a chance to respond to you.
Actions speak louder than words. And actions are not something of my whim and fancy. Just follow the rule of law. Follow the procedure laid down by law. Nobody wants anybody to do any kind of charity for anyone. Just follow the law. If you are not willing to follow the law, all the talk that you are giving is simply hollow. It does not instill any kind of confidence in citizens. It certainly does not instill confidence in the victim survivors, who will be so scared just now, simply because they might be feeling, we've come out and spoken and now we are not safe. And that is not the message my government wants to give. I think the politicians and the ruling dispensation must keep themselves off from this case and allow the Karnataka police to do their job. That is what every citizen wants just now. I'm sure the devotees also want the same thing. Justice to prevail.
Well, absolutely. That's what devotees would want, and the devotees are coming out to demand that. They are saying that we have faith in this individual, but they want him to step down pending investigation. Because here you have a person, Navin Chomal, who was inside the same premises. When a Mahjar was carried out, when a spot inspection was carried out with the two young victims, he was present at the same premises. He is addressing his crowds and his supporters. What's going on?
No, that is altogether a different thing subsequent to the allegation. But now
why is it altogether different?
See,
can you guarantee today, sir, that he will not influence the witnesses, that he will not bury evidence, that he will not...
I can guarantee because our law enforcing agencies are...
Sir, he is out at large. You're a lawyer. You know that this is an argument that is commonly used against any accused in any crime, that they can influence the course of the investigation. And here we are talking about a very powerful individual.
Sir, powerful in the sense he is a religious head. It can apply to a politician, it can apply to a gangster who are known for criminal activities. This gentleman is not known.
Sir, he is a powerful individual who the leaders of top political parties go and pay obeisance to. It doesn't get more powerful than that in this country. Only according to you, only criminals are powerful. According to you, only crime and criminals and mafia dons are powerful in this country. Nobody else has any power.
Politicians also having money.
Of course.
Also.
So
but this person is not a criminal by nature. Please appreciate. It doesn't have any.
Sir, the charges against him are very, very criminal. If he is a POCSO case that has been filed against him, are you saying for a minute, Navin Chomal, that those two young girls who risked their reputation, who risked their physical and mental well-being and filed this case, are you saying they are lying? Are you saying those minor girls are liars?
Exactly. Let me come to this topic, sir. Let me explain. See, I am not saying they are lying because I don't have access to the proof. But what is happening is new pets are emerging where ex-Janata Dal United MLA has been found to be instigating those girls and he was in touch with those girls. So there is a room for the thought that these allegations are brought up. And please appreciate.
Brinda Dige, this is nothing but speculation, Navin Chomal. We have seen many people come out to say there's a split between them, but nobody's been able to prove anything so far. Brinda Dige, please respond to this allegation made by Navin Chomal.
There might be a split, so be it. We leave it for the investigation, but follow POCSO. Follow the FIR atrocities against SC/STs. Both of that is an FIR that is filed. Follow the rule of law. What are the procedures to be followed? Just follow that. There may be enmity, there may be rivalries within the mutt, outside the mutt, but that is apart. You allow for this fair investigation to happen. Only then you will be able to put all the other doubts at rest.
All right.
You are not allowing that.
Navin
You are
Chomal
giving character certificate.
and Brinda Dige, we are completely out of time. In fact, there are, of course, we've seen the debate going on. We know what citizens in Karnataka have been saying, what they've been demanding in different protests at different events that have been taking place. Certainly what everyone is looking at is that justice is done, and that in terms of political pressure, at least on the investigating agencies, at least that should not be there. All citizens ultimately have to be treated equal under law. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. There's some